بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. All praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us the opportunity to come to His house. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our ibadah, and we ask the Almighty Allah to forgive our shortcomings. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the khair of this day and protect us from all types of evil. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. As every Friday, we remind ourselves for some of the actions and a'mal that are done on this day of Jummah to bring the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be able to maximize our actions in the best way possible, because it is a day in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, His rahmah, His forgiveness, His maghfirah descends. And how can a believer be that believer who is entitled of this mercy and forgiveness? This depends on the way you present yourself on this day of Jummah. And the presentation of doing the best of actions, the actions that are loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the way and means through which the mercy and the rahmah of Allah descends. So as we talk about different types of actions on this day of Jummah, one of the actions and one of the things that is important on this day of Jummah is to connect yourself with the kitab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran is the best form of dhikr. Quran is the best way that a person can keep himself away from the attack of shaitan. It's a way of gaining mercy and light from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in fact, the recitation of Quran on the day of Jum'ah becomes so much blessed, and it is so powerful that it takes the benefit till the next week. And one of the surahs that is recited on this day is Surah Al-Kahf, as it is a norm for us to recite Surah Al-Kahf on the day of Jummah. The surah brings a lot of blessings. It brings a lot of nur in the life of a believer. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the one who recites Surah Al-Kahf on the day of Jum'ah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will develop a special nur for him on the day of judgment. A special light will be developed. And on that day, a person needs light because he will have to go, everybody will have to go according to the light that they have. And everybody will be given their destination based on their light. The brighter the light is, the more your path is illuminated. And the weak or the dimmer the light is, the path becomes very difficult to pass on. And this surah provides you with that special light that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create for you on the day of judgment. In another narration, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the person who recites Surah Al-Kahf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will develop a special light for him which will last till the next Jummah. And what is this light? This light is to be given you, to give you the ability to differentiate between right and wrong, between haqq and batil. Because the entire surah, Surah Al-Kahf, it is a surah that is given to the believers to protect them from the trials of this world. Al-Ismah min al-Fitan. That is the overall theme of this surah that the Mufassirun has given. That Surah Al-Kahf, the overall theme of this surah is Al-Ismah min al-Fitan. Protection from trials. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about 4 different types of trials in this surah. Fitnatul Iman, Fitnatul Mal, Fitnatul Ilm, and Fitnatul Mulk. These are the 4 types of trials that Allah talks about in this surah. This is why this entire surah has been given the name of Al-Isma min al-Fitan, that protection from types of trials. Now when a person recites this surah, Allah develops a nur which lasts for another week until the next Jum'ah. What type of nur we're talking about? This is the type of nur that a person protects himself from the fitan of this world. And different types of fitan that will come upon the ummah as the time is moving forward. As the time is moving forward, the fitan are going to develop. As Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, that the fitan will develop in such a way, it's like a bead, that a bead has been cut from the middle, and the way these beads starts to fall out from the string, that's how the fitan will come. And number one, they drop rapidly. And number two, they drop in places that you cannot even find them. Sometimes you have to get the torch of your phone to go underneath the sofa, underneath the bed. Where do these beads go, right? To collect them. So similarly, when the fitan starts to come into this ummah, they fall upon the ummah in the same way as a string of a bead has been cut and the beads are just falling off. As the Prophet ﷺ described, it's like a person has a line of trials that are coming in rapidly. And in that rapidness, if a person has this special light, he knows where they're dropping. And he knows how he's going to refrain or protect himself, and how he's going to make himself in such a way that he will be protected. So this recitation of this surah brings a lot of blessings in the life of a believer. And what this surah talks about, and how it implements into the life of a person, and what type of fitan that will come in the future. Inshallah, we will talk about this in the next Friday session, that the surah, what it is offering, and how a person's iman, his mal, his ilm, and his mulk is going to be put into trial, and what are the ways that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides us in this surah that we can protect ourselves. Because this is something that is rapidly coming into the ummah, and as a believer, it is our duty to be equipped with such things that we can protect our iman, we can protect ourselves, so that when we leave from this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the understanding and the ability to practice. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.